Hey guys, Constantine again. First night in October. We were ready to get started immediately. We come down here to Snow Camp, North Carolina. Big long drive. Y'all know we're from Weston. That's a long drive now. It is. So we're here tonight, like I said, Snow Camp, North Carolina. Original Hollywood horror show. Just discovered this one this year. First year we've ever come here. We just went through and let me tell you something. We like it, man. I am here today with
Dean Jones.
Dean Jones, Constantine.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. Pleasure to meet you. Thanks.
So Dean, I guess the first thing, I'm sure you get asked a lot, how did Original Hollywood Horror Show get started?
It started in 1989. My brother and I were living in Venice, California. I still live in Los Angeles. And we had a couple months off, we had a break, and we had amassed a number of costumes and special effects equipment and some makeup from some of the features we were working on. At that time, we were working for Roger Corman Studios. I think of the big horror movies himself.
Yeah.
And we decided it would be fun to go home and put on our own pod. And so I sent my brother back here and we did some research and found a couple places, and we were looking for a house, an actual house. He almost had a house, but he didn't want to, it was really near parking. And then we ran across this place and we met the owner and eventually bought the place. It's up in here. But it had lots of parking, abundance of property to build new sets on and develop and grow. And it was just a perfect atmosphere, perfect place way out in the country, in the middle of nowhere, to start this line of attraction.
So you're originally from here?
I'm originally from Alamance County, North Carolina. I grew up in Snow Camp. Matter of fact, I was an actor to sort of piece the summer after I graduated high school, right down the road, with the Alpha Drama.
You mentioned you had all this stuff stored up. I would feel, remiss if I didn't mention the fact that you're pretty big in Hollywood, right?
I'm fortunate to work in the makeup industry as a makeup artist. I belong to a union of several people that I consider doing big movies and these people but I've been doing makeup about 25 years. I've directed second unit of some sci-fi pictures, but we are very much involved in the film community in LA. I do a bit of traveling, and I got to meet a lot of great other makeup artists. I work with a lot of great celebrities, and we have a good time. We travel, we work in films, we work in TV shows, and we enjoy what we do, and we enjoy coming back to North Carolina to share what we do with the kids that work on the show and our community.
That's one thing I noticed when I was in here. The sets and the costumes in this place are absolutely amazing. It looks, especially one thing in particular that caught my eye, the Saw room, where the guy gets his, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it was freaky. Okay, just so we know, what's some of the things you've worked on in Hollywood? I know you mentioned some, they have a video working out here, I know they mentioned some in there.
Yeah, worked on a number of Roger Corman movies. Taking a group on called True Watch Murder, very good. I worked with Sarah Hernandez on a movie called Jarhead. I was fortunate to be hired to work with a bunch of great guys. Constantine came in 2-3. I just finished working part 4. Joe Harlow was department head, but I got to work for a few weeks on that show just before I came here. So really, we're involved in horror genre, thrillers, drama, action, Disney movies, television shows. Working on an episode of House a few weeks ago, so we're very much involved in it.
It shows. It does. Your professionalism definitely shows in there.
We try to run a tight ship. We try to give really good quality. Our actors are good performers, and we focus on the believability factor of having good sets, good costumes, good makeup, so that we don't want to cheat our audience. We feel like, since we work in the film industry, we need to offer a little bit more, we need to be a little bit better, step it up, and hopefully it'll only have a follow.
Well, I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. Your inspiration for, how do you pick what you put into your haunted house?
Kind of basic. Some of the films we've worked on, or films we haven't worked on, been associated with. Actually, a lot of the props and things that you see on the show, we have brought back from another year to incorporate into the show. some movie theme. We utilize that. We just try to make it as close to movie realism as possible.
Yeah. Well, I noticed a pretty good range of age people going in there when they stand in line. One thing I like to always ask, because some people, they want to bring their own kids to these things. So, my next question is, what would you say would be the age range that'd be appropriate to bring to your home? Because some places you can take a young child to it and they'll have fun. Some places they'll give to an adult audience.
I think it's very odd. I'd say 5, 6 years old. I mean, I started. My parents were great. They took me to everything haunted possible. State Fair had a haunted house. JC's had a haunted house. We always went. We always take them to the haunted house. Had a great time. It was scary, but it was very exciting at the same time. So between 5 and 6 years old, I've seen parents purposely bring their kids here just to kind of, let them have that experience. They love seeing their kids scared, especially when the kid's like, he's a tough guy, nothing scares him. Of course, the parents get here and say, look, I'm taking my kids to the water. I want you to nail him. I want to make sure he gets scared. He thinks he's tough. He's been a pain this week. I want you to give it to him. I said, okay, we'll do our best. But yeah, it's 5, 6 years old. It's not a lot of gore in our show. We try to focus on the scare factor more than grossing people out. Because grossing people out is not really. It's interesting, but it's not really. It's a scare. It's a scare that counts.
I know you've run a place. You run into as a person that runs a haunt. I know you run into the problem where you have people wanting to come in and
they're out socializing and having a good time.
Yeah, they've been out drinking a few. They come in here and they might want to get a little unruly with some of your people. Do you have?
Well, we have a set of rules. First of all, we have a guided tour, guide in the front, guide in the back, and the groups are very contained. So what we do is we separate groups in an area where we can monitor, where they've been, what they've been doing, what they're talking about. We see everything they're doing, hear everything they're doing. Plus we have, of course tonight, so over the weekend, we have a slow attendance. So starting next weekend, we have deputy sheriff. We always have deputy sheriff presence, a police officer here. I have alternate police officers, I myself am a former LAPD cop. So I have a watchful eye, and we have a tight security staff. So I think with 21 years of doing our show and people coming here who have been in that state of inebriation, they tend not to come here anymore. If they do show up, it's usually at midnight. It's usually it's a handful of people, and usually they're escorted by a deputy sheriff to the show, and they're watched every step of the way. We don't really have any problem like that. We've been very fortunate, and we have safety concerns, safety issues. We have a tight security staff, and these people are monitored, so we're taking care of them. We don't want anything to happen to our party. We want to have a safe and a good time here at this one.
Inebriated or not, how much is it going to cost you when you come to go to Original Hollywood Horror Show?
For the ticket?
Yeah.
The ticket price, we maintain a ticket level for the last 4 years. And because of the economy and everything, we're not going to bump the price up. It's still $20 from this show. If you get the brochure, which you can find almost anywhere, brochure has a $5 coupon off for the first 2 weeks. So it's a good, it's a good price for a great skill.